Campaigners against HS2 say a new report on High Speed 1 casts big doubts on business case for the London to the North rail route. Now, HS2 will, of course, pass through South Northamptonshire. Penny Gaines is from the pressure group Stop HS2. Good afternoon, Penny.
Good afternoon, Rob.
So can you just run us through this report briefly, please?
Yeah, the Public Accounts Committee have been looking at High Speed 1 and specifically the sale of it last year. And what they found was that the main point they found was that the taxpayers put about £3 billion into HS1, but the sale only got back about $750 million for the taxpayer. So there was a big loss. Now, the other thing they said was that they'd also asked the government some time ago to prepare a report into the economic benefits for Kent and the rest of the country from HS1. That took the government 2 years to write, and when they finally got round to producing it, again last year, it said that for every pound that the government had spent on HS1, they were only getting about 60 pence back in economic benefits. So there's been a big loss from the building of HS1. The reason this is all relevant to HS2 is, as I just said, it took the government 2 years to produce the report. And meanwhile, the government were also pushing through building HS2. What we're saying, and what the Public Accounts Committee is saying, is that the members of Parliament should have had this information about HS1 available to them when they were looking at and voting to begin with on whether HS2 should go ahead.
What would you say to the critics that just say this is just a bit of a futile argument to kind of besmirch HS2?
Well, they would say that, wouldn't they? There's been a lot of independent reports done about HS2, and they all come up with the same conclusion, that HS2 is not a good project for the country. It's not a good way of spending £55 billion of taxpayers' money. We'll go a bit further. We say it should be completely scrapped, and that there's all sorts of better ways of spending taxpayers' money. £55 billion on one railway is just ridiculous, especially if it's not going to be getting the kind of economic benefits that the government are claiming that it might do. And we've got the proof that it won't by looking at High Speed 1.
What would you hope would be the one thing, if you can only pick one thing that's been learnt from the whole episode, what would you want it to be? It should really have a much better scrutiny to begin with. When HS2 was first being talked about, the only people who were really looking at whether it was a good idea or not were people who were mostly in favour of railways, high-speed railways. There was no one who came in, looked at HS2 before it got off the ground and said, well, you know what, there's better ways of spending this money. There's better ways of trying to get the results that the government want from HS2.